she pretty?
Okay. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm not the student speaker. I am the humble 22-year-old intern. So good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be up here, addressing you all on this momentous occasion. I'd like to begin this the way my supervisor, Kate, has taught me to begin, and that is with gratitude. On this final day of my internship, I'm profoundly grateful to have spent my time in a place that makes saying goodbye so difficult. Before I was chosen as the keynote speaker, there was a list of individuals asked to speak. They were far more accomplished, wealthy, and arguably more qualified. Arguably because I'm the one standing here giving this address today. And I won't name names, but if KA had started developing their AI tutor just a year earlier, I would have lost this to Convigo. And as funny as it would have been, the joke would have been on us. See, I believe in using the capabilities of AI. I even believe that it would produce a far more well-written speech than the one I have in front of me. But it would be missing a few things that only a human being could provide. It would be missing the authentic stories I can tell in first person, the wisdom that comes from a life of mistakes and failures, and most importantly, the relationship I have with this community. So based on my training data, the keynote addresses often start with, I'm just kidding. Class of 24, today, I'm going to share a few things with you that I hope you can take with you into your next chapter. The first is something that Pooja spoke about and Shire spoke about, and it is the context of our curiosity. I'm defining curiosity here as an eagerness to know something. It's an evolutionary adaptation we have built to the threat of uncertainty. It is this engine of curiosity where all our ideas come from, the ones you love and the ones you hate. But it is the context of our curiosity that largely influences how we shape our ideas. When I was 14, my family and I traveled to Europe. There was a moment that has stayed with me ever since. We were waiting in a long line at a help desk to inquire about the next train out of Switzerland. Right in front of me was a man smoking a cigarette. He was tall, much older, was wearing a long coat to protect against the cold. But that cigarette casted a shadow. I only saw his rough beard. I thought I saw a frown on his face. He wasn't just tall anymore, he was towering and intimidating. Maybe he's hiding weapons in that long trench coat. They have to be Swiss Army knives. I judged him very harshly. And I turned to my dad, and I was upset because I really wanted to taste Swiss chocolate in Switzerland. I said, Dad, it's our last day. Can we please find a place to get some before we board the train? And all of a sudden, before my father could respond, the man in front of me turned around. I was terrified. Instinctively, I closed my eyes and I covered my face. I knew he must be turning around to hurt me. But as I opened my eyes, right in front of me, held out so gently, was a piece of Swiss chocolate. This man who I had judged so quickly and so harshly, in an instant had shattered all of my preconceived notions. See, I was curious, but in the context of fear, and that created anxiety. I judged this man by the cigarette in his hand, with no regard as to how it got there, no understanding of why he smokes, and not the slightest idea of who he is. In a time where you are exposed 24/7 to events happening all across the world, it's often more comfortable to put things into categories than to accept that the world is complicated, that situations are nuanced, that sometimes we have to step back and say, I just don't know. It's easier to judge people by the groups they subscribe to or the ideas they hold than it is to sit and listen to their thought process. As you enter college and start your career, class of 24, you will encounter people who come from different places, who have lived different lives, and who hold different viewpoints. That's okay. Be curious. Be unafraid. Because curiosity in the context of gratitude leads to fascination. Curiosity in the context of love fosters empathy, and curiosity in the context of hope creates possibilities. So be grateful, be loving, be hopeful, and then, only then, do you have my permission to judge. Picasso once said, "All children are born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as we grow up." I think the same can be said about dreamers. All children are born dreamers. The problem is remaining a dreamer as we grow up. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be president of the United States. But I was born in India, and I moved here when I was 2. And if you paid attention in government and politics, then you would know that no matter how patriotic you are, you have to be born in the US to become the president. I knew this, and I would tell my dad. And he would tell me that maybe by the time I'm 35, they will change the laws for you. He was completely wrong. Things have probably gone in the opposite direction. But he knew that I had a powerful dream, and that my belief in this dream would inspire me to do great things, whether or not I achieve it. A while ago, I was sitting in a circle with my high school friends, and we were sharing our dreams as we moved on to the next stage of our lives. I remember saying education this and education that, but my friend sitting next to me, very succinctly, very sincerely, turned to the rest of us and said, "I just want to be a good father." Your dreams don't need to be grandiose and all-encompassing. You don't have to build AGI or fix climate change if that's not where your heart is. Remember that even if you push yourself to be better each day and inspire those around you to do the same, you will have already made this world a better place. But your dreams shouldn't be confined by what other people tell you is rational or feasible, because your dreams should push you beyond what you think your limits are. And without a doubt, your dreams must be unapologetically yours. They don't belong to anyone else. They should be a reflection of who you are at your very core and what you want to give to this world. As you go through life with dreams, understand that it will put a target on your back. Your dreams will be weathered by criticism because it's easy to criticize. Anyone with a phone or a voice can be a critic, some more eloquent than others. It's easy to point to the million reasons why something didn't work. But it's difficult to build something meaningful. It's difficult to think deeply about a problem, to empathize with those affected by it, to crochet somewhere in the middle, and design and iterate on a solution. To leave your work and yourself open to judgment. Remember, as a famous food critic in France once said after eating at Gusteau's, Ratatouille reference number 2, in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is more meaningful than the criticism designating it so. So build something meaningful. Build something that will last beyond your time. And I know that you are capable because I listened to you present your capstones. You are a very powerful group of dreamers. Whether you are building better homes for guinea pigs or forging knives within a pane of glass, you embarked on journeys that were true to your interests and journeys that helped you grow. Your work was inspiring to all of us. So do not lose that energy and enthusiasm you have to build something beautiful. Be resilient in the face of cynicism and support each other as you chase relentlessly after your dreams. Know when to take feedback and know when to ignore it. Dream against the odds, but remember, a dream on its own is not sufficient. You can have a dream and stay asleep, or you can have a dream and you can get to work. So keep dreaming, keep building. The last few months, I had the opportunity to tutor 2 students in math. And it was then that I realized the true power of education. When I began working with these 2, I was never bothered by the fact that they said they didn't know how to do something. That's what I was there for. That's what I was a tutor for. What hurt me is that they didn't believe that they could ever do it. The hardest part of education isn't teaching content or gold standard PBL. It's getting a child to believe in their own potential. You're only at school for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and the rest of the time, we have no control over what you consume, what you hear from others, what beliefs or attitudes you internalize. We have to understand you before we can help you. So I got to know them, not for the sake of helping, but because I cared. And slowly things changed. In the early days, I remember they would encounter a problem they couldn't solve and they would drop their marker and say, "I can't do this." Eventually that changed. They would say, "I can't do this," but they knew I wasn't going to help them immediately. So I would sit back and I would watch as they solved the problem and prove themselves wrong. And in the end, I was the tutor that thankfully was fired because they learned to work on their own. They learned to learn independently, and they achieved the goals that they sought to go after. Class of 24, as you graduate from KLS, I hope you can say with the utmost confidence, I can learn anything, I can do anything, and I can overcome any obstacle. Our job as educators is not to give you some false sense of arrogance. It is to create an environment so you have weeks, months, years of evidence you can point to remind yourself that there is nothing you cannot accomplish. No dream too big, no obstacle too challenging. And it's not just education. When I first reached out to intern here, the first email I got from Kim was, "We don't have any openings right now, but what are you looking for?" We spoke to each other and she took a chance on me, someone with no educational background. She and so many other friends I've made here saw potential in me I didn't see in myself. So today I hope we have helped you see your own potential. Faculty, staff, students of Khan Lab School, and of course the class of 2024, it has been an honor to chaperone your sleepovers and serve as your favorite intern. Everyone is a student, everyone is a teacher, and to me, everyone here is family. My experience would not have been the same without the passion and dedication of all the people I've had the privilege of working with here. Stay curious in all the right contexts, keep dreaming and build something meaningful, and never forget that you are capable beyond belief. I can't wait to watch you grow as people and change the world. And if you need any support, I'll be there in the bleachers with a yellow bandana, screaming your name with a pack of boiled eggs, as long as you leave a little room for an intern. Thank you, everyone.